Hello and welcome back to Cities Skylines, where we have one of the most complicated water systems of all time going on here. But we do have issues, such as the massive flooding problem caused by this new dam. Yes, we are outputting more water than we can handle, and it is causing quite the bad day for our city as roads get submerged underwater and houses get covered, and it's getting pretty bad. So we are going to go into emergency mode, where we are going to try and fix this. First off, we're going to make a channel for the water to get away from the city without going through the main river. We're going to cut across, which skips the entire city. That should make one big step towards getting rid of the flooding. And let's continue doing that. Bam. Look at that. That is a really huge channel. But we're going to have to make it a little bit larger because a lot of water needs to move through this. And this is not cheap. We're spending thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars on this. But that is going to carry the water away from the city. And next up, we need our... Did we make a potato army? Yes, we did. The flood trucks are going out to save the people. The second way we can reduce flooding is by decreasing the amount of water that's going in. I think that's a pretty obvious one. But we are going to open up the emergency gate quite a bit more to allow more water to leave. This is going to decrease the efficiency of the dam, but it will go a long way to saving our people. As we can see, the water is actually using this new flood run. We are sending a lot of water down, and it's causing the level to decrease. However, it's not going to do much to help the current flooding. We're actually having houses being destroyed. We are losing hundreds of people to this flood. This is we have caused quite the disaster. It's pretty bad. We were not planning on this much water being released. We cannot really shut off the dam. I'm not sure. If we shut it off, will it stop outputting? I think it just stops making electricity. Yeah, it's still outputting. So that is not going to be a valid solution. We need to open up these floodgates even more. I mean, it is the entire purpose of them to save people when this happens, but it's still quite a bit of water we're messing with here, and just pouring it out of the back isn't exactly a complete solution. When this breaks through here and the water starts pouring out the back, it can actually backtrack a bit. Once it goes down here, it can snake around the mountain and go into this river. And that river may actually be another solution to our problem. We could make a little outlet going this way, but that's a lot of effort. And I don't think we'll still have a problem by the time that'll actually happen. Oh man, the amount of flooding is getting really bad. Like, this is a serious problem. So what we're going to do is we are going to close off the incoming water with some land, and we are going to dig out a massive ditch here to try to pool in some of the water. And then we're going to, once again, build this across. This is going to be a very temporary solution. This is not going to be very long-standing. but it's going to cut off the incoming water, and that is increasingly necessary. So as you can see, the water level is actually dropping. This is good, except that's not happening over in the city, where more and more buildings are being destroyed by the flood. What can we do about this? Not that much, actually. We kind of just have to live with the fact that a large section of the city just got completely demolished. We need to make sure we don't blow through all of our money, but we also need to take care of this problem. Thankfully, the large majority of the water is now going through this river. We do have the limitation of just time. It takes time for the water to flow, and we have to wait for it to go downstream. The water is starting to go downstream, and as you can see, the water level for the first time is actually dropping. But this is the reason why right here. If you can't tell, we're holding a lot of water in here. A lot of water. Once again, we're going to be using a method of just digging a little bit of a hole in the riverbed to try and make the water level decrease a bit. It's not a perfect solution, but it'll do a little bit. And we need the dirt anyways. So we're gonna see the water. See, the water level went down a tiny bit. And now the water is running out of the city. It's going towards the river, which is extremely important. Now right here, we're going to start to see the problem is going to start to, well, begin again. There's not a ton we can do about that. Ooh, the dam isn't outputting any water. Oh, there we go. So this has decreased the water level enough that the dam is not running anymore. So we can start to close this back up. Not too much. We're going to leave a section of it open still to make sure that we can deal with this. But now we can rip this down. I'm getting some flashbacks to Lost Vooperis right now. This isn't the first time we've dealt with a really big flood in this game. Okay, so when it comes to it, we actually do have quite... it's not the worst thing that's ever happened to us. It was definitely my fault. I'm taking full responsibility. I was not careful enough when I did this, and it has cost us heavily. Our money is down, even though we're still filthy rich. The entire industry area has been cut off, which has completely ruined our exports. Everyone is out of work right now. We have the loss of hundreds of families, which is probably the worst part. But the neighborhood is rebuilding and the water is beginning to recede. This right here is the real game changer. This did its job. But we have to dig it a bit lower, which is going to be really expensive, but worth it. This is going to make sure that no such thing happens again. Prevention is better than the cure. There we go. And now we have an even stronger way to pull the water out of here. We're just gonna pour down there. Okay, so we're going to go a little bit further into closing this. There we go. We're hitting a critical point here where we're about to start leaking into this side of the river. We are holding a lot of water here. Enough water that it's going to be an absolute mess to try to get rid of it. I've been thinking about ways to deal with this water, because we want to put a second dam here at some point, but not yet. We can't. Right now, this is better as a floodgate in water control so that we can really manage what's going on. And now the river is dropping too low. But that's okay right now. I'm not super concerned with that. Now what we're going to do is we're going to close this even more. We're just going to leave the very basic outlet, which I think this may even be too much. I think that's enough to keep it from overflowing, but keep the dam running. And as you can see, the water is not up to the height it needs to be for the dam to run. We have a lot of water coming in, so it won't take too long to hit that point. We'll keep an eye on it. The river is back flowing now. It's to be expected considering that this is so much higher than over here. This entire river has swelled up ridiculously. But we have water running in. You can see the difference in height. The water gets really high really fast. This is just a part of working with water in City Skylines. It's just really, really challenging to balance things properly, but we're doing our best. Something we're going to do is we're going to create a disaster center right here. And these guys are going to be able to save people who are stranded in destroyed buildings. It's pretty important, and they're going to do their job. We've done a pretty good job at mitigating this disaster. I mean, sure, it's kind of completely our fault. It was a completely man-made disaster, but at the very least, we've dealt with it. But we want to get that dam running again, so let's see what we can do about that. The outlet here is still going, but the dam is about to start running. Any second now. You can see the water is starting to go a bit over. There it is. The dam is running 256, 320. It should make up to 1,600 megawatts. So the question is, how much water is this dam going to let out? And is it more than we can handle? Because last time, we got quite the shock. Now, we have a lot of water running in from over here, backflowing. And that's going to make this interesting. We have water coming in from both directions. We want the water level to go up to where it was before, but we don't want people to be drowning in it, so it's a lot of balance. So let's speed things up. Here comes the water. We do have a little bit of overflow, but we set up some flood tracks here for that. So this overflow definitely means that we are not getting rid of enough water here. So we're going to double the size of this. We're just going to let more water out. That's going to keep this from overflowing. All we want is the dam working at maximum capacity, which it is right now. And that is causing quite a bit of water to come out. And what we're hoping is that the river regains its height from before, but doesn't go much over that. So we're going to keep an eye on things. we can see that the river is moving, certainly. See, this dam lets out so much water. That's the problem. I'm not sure if that's too much. Because we are sending water down here now, which is helping. It's certainly helping. But is it enough? This overflowing here is slightly worrying. It looks like it's not too much. But our water levels increase. Okay. Well, the answer is certainly yes. But how quickly? Too quickly. That is too quickly. Okay, so yeah. That is too much water. We can't handle that much water. That's just how much the dam outputs. I'm not sure what we can do about this. I mean, of course, we want to fix everything that was broken. And everyone seems to have recovered from the last flood. But how do we prevent another flood? We have an outlet, but it's not enough. This is all still getting water. I think what we're going to do is we're going to start limiting the amount of water this city gets by building in a little bar here. I'm gonna do a few of these just to make it so that the amount of water that comes in is lower, because now this entire section can't push water, only the top layer can, and that will restrict the water flow by quite a bit. Restricting the amount of water is going to make it more manageable, but I'm not sure if it's going to be a permanent solution to the problem, because it's still overflowing here, which we can just build a very simple wall across to deal with that. It's not the end of the world. It is, however, worrying. Working with this much water is always going to be hard in this game. I've done a lot of projects with water in this, but it gets really complicated. There's a lot of different factors working together. You don't want to drain it, but you don't want to flood it, and at the same time, it's extremely expensive. Look how much money we're losing doing this. I mean, we are making a ridiculous amount of money, but we are still spending it like crazy. And there we go. Here is with our limit in place, which means most of the water is going to be carried down here. We can actually see the water increasing in speed down here because of what we've done. And the hope is it doesn't go over this. It only goes through what's limited here. And that isn't too much, but that's... See, that's too much water. We... Okay, so we're gonna limit it up to here. That's making this very thin. This is gonna cause right here to move faster, but it is going to restrict the amount of water still. But will it do it enough? So right now, this is a higher water level than normal, but we can live with it if it doesn't get any higher than this. It looks like this may work. We may have just balanced it out. This has a healthy dip now. We have a little bit of flooding along this side, but the water level is decreasing. So I think we may have done it. I think we may have balanced everything. This is a really, really high amount of water. Why? This is moving down, which is right. These both converge here, and then it goes down out on the map. So why is this so flooded? it because the water just hasn't had enough time to move. It looks like the levels are decreasing. So, I think we can... I think we're safe. I think this is going to work fine. It's close. But it's not quite deadly. And I think we are good. Oh. That's why the problem has stopped. Why is the dam... The dam is not outputting nearly as much now. But you know what? It's still outputting about max power. So I think... Huh. What is going on? Why is the dam stopping? I mean, that's fine. At this rate, we can handle the amount of water, which means we can lower this bar down to about here. Yeah, at this rate, I think this is going to work out fine. The water will slightly move in, and the water is going to stay at about this level, which is why it's flowing back. The water level has dropped quite a bit. But it's not enough for me to get... This looks kind of ridiculous, but it's not enough for me to worry. We can live with this. This is now flowing. So that's good. So the entire water system is now functioning, which is nice. We're gonna slightly close this, just so that the dam outputs a little bit more, because right now it's really, really low. Too low. And I think that's gonna do it. Would you look at that? We have a great, great dam, and it's outputting a lot of power. A ridiculous amount of power. And this is one of the largest projects we've had in City Skylines so far. But this mega dam is going to ensure that we have clean power pretty much for the entire series, probably. We can throw another one on that side. So yeah. Okay, so when it comes to things, the city is doing very well. We only have a few things that really need to be worked on, and one of those is just expansion in general. We are low on everything. There's a lot of demand to move into the city. We need to make those people happy. We also are going to increase our death care. We have a lot of it already. So, never mind, we're not going to. There's just so much because of the amount of death that happened over here recently. Yeah, it sucks. Lots of people died. But it's fine. Because, don't get me wrong. Dying is bad. But it's not like we're going to always be dealing with that many dead people. So it doesn't make much sense to increase all of our infrastructure for it. But what does make sense is expanding this. We have a lot of space to move off in this direction and around here and connect to Aspen Park and the Elizabeth District. And we have very high demand for industry. So what I'm thinking is we can make another little office area here. Look at that. That'll work. And then we're just going to zone it for offices. So this area will no longer be just commercial. It'll be commercial and places for our citizens to work. Would you look at that? And as the buildings pop up, the amount of demand we have is going to draw. Okay, water. They do need water. Boop. 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 There we go. All set. Once again,
Astrologists report that a devastating
Oh.
meteor will strike the city in the near future. Residents should seek shelter immediately.
Okay, so we
if
do
funding is
not have any disaster services, and I told you guys last episode that we were going to be turning on random disasters. So I have no clue where this is going to be, but we're going to hope that it's nowhere important. Let's watch Sterling Park, because I'm kind of concerned that it's gonna... Oh, there it is. Oh no, it's going to hit Sterling Park. Oh, that would be really bad. I don't want that. Like, damage, fine, we can fix it, but Sterling Park has a lot of people. Is it gonna clear? I'm not sure if it's gonna clear the mountain. Oh, no, it's not gonna clear it. It's gonna graze across. Well, that's unfortunate. I just built that.
A meteor strike has occurred. Avoid the impact site and head to shelter if any is available.
Oh, no. Okay, so, first off, I'm happy this was here. If we hadn't built this wall, that meteor would have went crashing probably by its trajectory right into the houses that got flooded. So I guess same result. Okay, so when it comes to damage, this wasn't too bad. The wall got slightly hit, and overall, there's a bit we can do to fix it. Let's go ahead and do that after we look at the scope of this. This wall of water created by the blast is, it's not too bad, but it is definitely going to clear that dam. So we're going to have to do some things to ensure that our people are safe. So let's do that. Okay, so let's repair this. All we gotta do is build this up here. Bam, fast repair. I'm more worried about the effect of the water, because this is a lot of water being displaced. I mean, we have systems in place for this, but you see the amount of water coming out of the dam is up because of the amount of force of the water hitting it. I guess it's not too bad. Yeah, we do have a bit of extra water. I guess this will be the test of the water system. If this makes it through without any serious flooding, then we're going to be fine. Otherwise, we have to start worrying about improving it, because I forgot about natural disasters. If something hits this, like an earthquake or a meteor in this case, or many other things, it has to be able to hold. There is no option for failure. No, it seems like it's going to handle it completely fine. Even with the extra water, it's acting completely normal. So it looks good. So guys, this has been a really long episode, and I thank you all for watching. Things are getting a little bit interesting. Please like and subscribe if you've enjoyed this series, and I will see you all next time. Bye. Doo-doo.